Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey. I want to welcome you to the video cast. Usually when people are leaving, heading off to work, going off to school, doing whatever it is that they're going to do, a lot of times, at least with me, and it's sometimes my family makes fun of me for it because it's a constant habit, I always tell them to drive safely. I always tell them to be careful. As if they're going to, get in the car and have a race or something. I know that they're going to drive safely, but I just want to be able to tell them, be safe, drive safely. But have you ever thought, when someone leaves, to say, hey, be careful, don't fall in a hole? No, we don't think of that because we have absolutely no expectation of them falling into a hole. But the reality is, people fall into holes all the time. And I'm not talking about physical holes where they're going past a construction site and they fall into a hole. Or, for those of us who live in Michigan, we understand all the pothole jokes because we grow them here. This is where potholes come from, is the state of Michigan. We grow them and we ship them out all over the country. It's quite a successful business here. But we aren't talking about falling into those kind of holes. I'm talking about falling into a hole in life. Sometimes we can just move along and we get distracted. We get distracted from the things that we have to do. We are working on a project at work, or we're in school and we're working on an assignment, or we're studying, or we're taking care of the kids and just going through the daily routine at home. Whatever it is that you're doing, and you do it all the time, it's easy to get distracted. And in the process, you fall in a hole. And you feel like you fell in a hole. Now, come on, everybody's felt that way. We all feel like I'm stuck in this hole and I can't seem to get myself out. The hole makes you feel like life doesn't have meaning anymore. The hole makes you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and you're not getting anywhere. If you've ever been in a hole, you find that you're not getting anywhere. You can't move forward, you can't move backwards, you can't go to either side. You're just there. You're stuck in this thing that restricts you from doing anything. And that's how life can feel at times. Like we're stuck inside of this hole and we can't get ourselves out. That's what you want to be careful from. There's a couple things here I want to point out to you real quick. One is that we can avoid falling in the hole. How do you do that? You do that by paying attention. Pay attention to your life. Your life is important. I know the daily routines that we go through and the difficulties that we face sometimes, or even the lack of difficulties that we face sometimes, can make us kind of numb to what's going on around us. But be aware. Be aware of the people you're around. Be aware of how you're responding to life. You see, you can't determine what is going to happen to you. You cannot determine the events of a day. Everything happens for a purpose. Everything happens to help us to grow and to develop and to be the best of the person who we are. The thing is, you don't control those events. But, on the other hand, you have the greater power because you do control how you respond to those events. That is, in fact, only you who control how you respond to those events. Nobody else is going to do that for you. You have to do that. And it's when we stop doing that, it's when we stop paying attention to how we're responding to our life, that we come across the hole and we fall into the hole. Because we have left ourselves open to being restricted by all of the things going on around us. And they don't have to be restricting. We just have to be able to be aware. So, be aware of what's going on in your life at all times. The second thing is be in control of what's going on in your life. Again, you say, well, you tell me to be control, and at the end, you just told me that I'm not in control of the events, and you're not in control of the events, but you are in control of you. That is called discipline. It's called self-discipline. It's called responsibility. It's called doing what you need to do at the time you need to do it. And it may seem like, okay, I am in law enforcement, let's say. Big responsibility. You're constantly placing yourself in danger. You are constantly placing yourself in a situation that you have to be aware and think about and take care of things. But that same awareness, that same responsibility is to the person who works from home, who has their own business, who is striving to try to succeed at a business that they've created. Whether it is at home, it's online, it's a brick and mortar building, whatever the thing, you have those same responsibilities. We all have responsibility. It's just different responsibilities, but they're just as important, because to neglect them is to lead us to the hole. Be aware of those responsibilities. Understand what it is you're trying to achieve and what you have to do to achieve it. Now, I truly do suggest that you spend time with a piece of paper and a pen, and you sit down and you make a list of everything that you need to do in order to succeed at what you're doing. And if you can't figure out what is down the road, try working backwards. If you had succeeded, think about this. I've succeeded at the goal that I'm striving for. What did I have to do to get here? What was the last thing I did before I reached that success? Then what was before that? Then what was before that? So either way, when you start off by making the goal, or you're looking at it from finishing the goal, either way, you are moving in a direction that you can put down those steps. We all have things to achieve. And what those things are, how do you do that? How do I achieve that? I'm a writer, and this is what I do. And let me use myself as an example, if I may, to tell you about setting up this step-by-step process. When I'm starting work on a book, to me, the first thing I try to think about is, what is it going to be like when it's done? What kind of value is it going to add? Because to me, that is a very high personal value of mine, is to add value to people who are going to read my books. And I want to be able to add value to people, to help them be their best, to help them achieve their dreams. I've often said, everyone has a purpose in life. My purpose is to help you find your purpose. That's what I do. That is my driving force. That's my passion. That's what I love to do. It's what I'm committed to do. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Is it something that I can do whenever I feel like it? No, believe me, it takes all my energy, all my time, all my thinking. It takes a lot of work, because I have to grow. I have to learn. I have to develop myself in order to help you to do the very same thing. So it is a constant state of work. So I look at the project that I'm going to work on, and I think, what am I trying to achieve? How am I going to feel when it's done? What am I going to be? Who do I have to be in order to achieve that? When I first started writing, that was one of the great lessons that I learned from Brian Tracy, was the fact that who do I have to be to achieve the success that I want to achieve? Who do I have to be? Who is me? What kind of person do I have to develop to be in order to help other people develop? And that took work. It took sitting down, writing it out, figuring it out. Because it's easy just to throw things off the top of your head, but when you're sincerely looking for answers, it takes a lot of work. So keep focusing on those things. The last point I want to bring out is, when you do fall in that hole, always have a ladder. always have a way out. And you can prepare that. You can walk around with your own little collapsible ladder that's, there, so if I fall into a hole, I can crawl my way out. Don't just sit there. That's the problem with holes. People fall into holes and they sit there. They sit and they wait for someone to rescue them. Help is not on the way. You have to get out of that hole. And the only way you're going to get out of that hole is to figure out how to get out of that hole. And to do it quickly and to do it right now. And you have to change your attitude. That means being willing to say, no, I am not going to stay in this hole. I'm not going to just sit here. Kind of slap yourself and say, buck up, let's get to work, let's get going. And you climb out of the hole and you keep moving. And you're constantly growing and developing. It's not as hard as it sounds. Does it take work? Yes. Is it something that you're not going to particularly enjoy all the time? Yes, but that's life. No one enjoys life all the time. I mean, there's good times, there's not so good times, but we keep going because it's the consistency of it that makes it always a good time. It makes it worthwhile. So don't fall in a hole. When you go out today, do not fall in that hole. And if you do fall in the hole, take out your collapsible ladder, stretch it out, and get out of that hole as fast as you can, because there is a destiny, there is a purpose for you, and you are going to achieve it, and you will be successful, and you will be your best. You'll love God, have good manners, discover the unknown, and change your world. We at the Growth Center are committed to helping you achieve your dreams and live a successful life. For more information on books and materials offered, visit our website at www.johnpatrickhickey.com. That's www.johnpatrickhickey.com.